Hello and welcome to the Nordic Takedown podcast. My name is Captain Kirk. Actually, Jason, the Captain Kirk, also known as Fun Daddy, also known as many other things to my wife and children, but we won't get into that. And I'm joined here today by Jonah, also known as the Norwegian, also known as, I don't know if you've got any other nicknames. You can tell us.
Not yet. We'll see. Hello, nice to be back. Still super excited. Feels like pre-release vibes are still hanging over me, but very excited.
Yeah. Have you managed to do your pre-release yet? The proper pre-release? Sealed?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. If you didn't listen to last episode, some stores in Norway didn't get their kits on time, so the kits got postponed. But I got to attend 2 sealed events actually since last week with the kits, so that was super fun.
Yeah. How did those go? You don't need to come talk about my pre-release. Well, I've bored everyone about that already, so go for it.
It went well. The first one, they went for a different format compared to all of the other sealed events I've been on. Normally, the store owners just run a Swiss, and that way it's kind of competitive since you meet people with the same record as you have. But one of the events I went to, they just had a super casual, nice atmosphere where you just walked around, asked somebody, "Do you want to play a game?" And then they said yes. So there was no structure basically, and they were super generous. So they even gave a pack per win as well.
Oh, cool.
So first I was a little bit skeptic because.
Can I just ask how many people were at this event then? Because it must be quite a few just to go up.
No, there were a lot actually, but there were too many to be in just one of the rooms. It was in Moss actually, where Adam and I went to the showdown. So I didn't really get a overview of how many we were because people were just walking around, and I think they gave out a lot of packs.
Oh wow, so that's super casual vibe then. Yeah.
At first I was a little bit skeptic because I felt like we're playing for packs. Can't you just target new players since there's no Swiss, right?
Yeah.
But after 1 or 2 games, I just realized how nice the atmosphere was, and everybody was just having a great time. So actually, it turned out really nice.
Yeah. That's really cool that you can just make it casual, because people do go in trying to, they have to win their pre-release. They have to be the best player in the room every single time. And you actually don't, even if you're an experienced player, you don't have to be the best player in the room. Yeah. It's sealed. Things can go wrong. Other people and new players will be happier if they can do well at at an event and want to, carry on. And then you can crush them at SOR Showdown or other bigger competitive events. To really, show your muscle. That's really, really encouraging to hear that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep, cool. How was your? Did you do anything big for the launch weekend or the release weekend?
Yeah, I met up with a friend, cracked some boxes, and was semi-happy. I mean, it's probably gone around everywhere on every Star Wars media at this point about the collation issues. So in case you don't know, really briefly, there's a order. I mean, there are printing sheets in the factories, right? So you basically know from seeing one legendary what other legendaries you're going to get, approximately, and even with the rares. So that kind of takes the magic out of opening boxes. So, and I basically got 3 of the same box. Rares and legendaries, basically. There were tiny differences, but it was a bit of a bummer. But I'm happy with my pulls, and I bought a couple from my friend, so I'm excited.
You did some trading and stuff, so you got a little bit more of what you want. That's cool. Just about the coalition. Is it coalition? Coalition?
Coalition, I think.
Coalition. Collation. That makes sense. Just here's English for dummies. the collation issues is that, you know, is they wouldn't have had time to fix it since set one, right? Because there's still the same shortage as there was from set one, because they would have still put those orders in, and they wouldn't have been able to up the orders because the print runs would have already started, etc., etc. So I think set three is where we will see the changes, any changes they can make. Obviously, they'll be printing more of set three. They'll be printing more of set one. Hopefully, some more set two as well. But put some order in. Maybe that will come later. But I think set three, they have the possibility to actually make an improvement on what's been going on. So I don't think I haven't seen people get annoyed at FFG or the stuff yet. I've just been saying, okay, it's happened again. Never mind. They haven't had chance to fix it, and that's completely fair. So so let's not get annoyed just yet until set three comes out and see if we see the.
I really hope they kind of enforce their manufacturers to actually do some randomization of the packs.
Yeah, definitely. And if they need an algorithm, they can have a word with their old employees who now work for Ghost Galaxy and produce Keyforge decks, because they have rebuilt the Keyforge engine, which does a really good job at making randomized and decks and stuff like that, and randomized packs. So maybe they can learn something from there. I don't know. We'll see.
What about you? What about
my launch weekend was amazing. It was a bit of a shame. I invited 4 people round, 2 couldn't make it, so there were 3 of us. One who is a very, very new player to the game, but works at the Manitorsk, our local. So he really enjoys it. And then Matthias from the podcast, they came over on Saturday about 4:30, near 5 o'clock, and then we played forward to about near midnight.
Nice.
Just opening boxes. We started off by doing a sealed pool, normal sealed pool with 3 packs, and we just opened and played. So I had a red Cad Bane, which kind of worked, but just time to experiment. And then Matthias, I think, did he also have a Cad? No, he had a Kira. And with 3 Darksabers, which he opened up from his, 2 Darksabers, which he opened up from his first 6 packs, which is crazy. He had the best luck, Matthias did. So he pulled 3 Darksabers from the same box, which was just insane, like a hyperspace version, a normal one, and then
a foil one.
And a foil one.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane. I think they were 2 maybe even been from the same pack. It was just like, what is going on here? So he had the craziest of luck, and then he went and pulled a hand solo showcase as well. It's just right in front of us, and we were kind of thinking, well, between the 3 of us, we bought 3 boxes each. There's a 75% chance that one of us going, and we were like all ripping the packs open. Like, please let it be me. Please let it be me. And then he just pulls it out. His hand was shaking, and it was just like, okay, do you want what's the the mag cases that you can get? So I gave him one of those to put it in, and it was just like, it was a really, really cool moment. But the best thing we did. And he pulled this when we were doing this thing, was we did a display sealed, a whole display sealed pool. So we just opened up the whole case, and we can only build a deck.
But just a 30 card deck?
No, we went 50 card deck.
Okay.
I mean, we had so much to choose. So it was just like, let's be easy on ourselves and actually just build a 50 card deck. And I tried Finn for the first time. Which was actually okay. I got destroyed by first of all, because I didn't really work it out, but then I played against Eric, who was the other guy there, and it actually worked. I actually won with Finn, and it actually worked quite well. If you can get Rose on the board and keep her out there, like you've just got so much staying power. Like you don't need to care about you need to get upgrades out, you need to get experience out, but then you can just turn that into shield, and it just stays there, and they can't get through, especially if you can get it onto a sentinel, because they just have to hit a shield and stuff. And so I just had to wait to get my rivals full, bam, goodbye big beast, and then I can keep pinning base. So Finn could be good.
I think the fact that he deploys on 5 is just super nice.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we get more really good experience giving cards, then he'll just get even better. Right now, I'm mainly looking on Mass, Obi-Wan, Rose,
Yeah.
and there are 2 new upgrades like Rich Reward and Inspiring Mentor. Rich Reward is the bounty that can give 2 experience.
Yes. Yep.
And Inspiring Mentor giving on attack and when defeated given experience.
That's the green rare. Yeah.
Green heroism rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, if you can just always give a lot of experience, then you can, in some situations, get a lot of value from that. But
yeah, it does take a while, and I think if you don't know what you're doing, like you need to have a lot of practice with Finn, and because it'll be a case of you pull out, and then you have to move your moving something off of one thing, put experience on another thing, and then trigger Finn and switch it then to a shield. Like your opponent might get a bit annoyed if you're not really sure exactly what you're doing. So if you want to play Finn, just practice up, because otherwise your opponent might get a bit annoyed at slowness. Because I kind of felt that I was just like, hey, what am I doing here? What am I doing to the best effect? So that was quite nice to know that Finn doesn't suck.
Nice.
So that was my launch. We had a really, really good time, and since then I have been just thinking about what decks I can put together.
Actually, Stian, a friend of mine, and I also did something similar like you with a box.
Oh yeah.
So we split the box in 2, and then from the 12 packs, we said we have to build 2 seal decks using all of the aspects.
Okay.
One being heroism, one being villainy.
Yeah.
So pretty much the same format, and then we played them against each other, where we said in order to win the match, you have to win with both of your leaders.
Yes. Okay.
So I built a Cad Bane green and a Ray red.
Yep.
So yeah, very standard actually. So then, in order to win kind of the best of 3, I had to win with both decks. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So
So
okay,
So of course, one will work. Yeah. So it was basically first win with 2 decks. So I guess you just kept on playing.
If you lost, you could decide, I guess, if you wanted to switch or not.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was fun, just having like a homebrew format.
That's a really fun thing. And coming over from Keyforge, because Keyforge had a format called Triad, where you picked 3 decks and you banned one, and then to win the match, you had to win with your 2 remaining decks.
Yeah.
And so that's really fun doing that with because these games also go quite quick.
Yeah.
So doing like a best of 1 Triad kind of thing with this, that's interesting. We need to come up with
it was fun. I would say the downside of the format was we spent a lot of time building the decks, and then when we played really quickly, and then we're like, I can't be bothered with this anymore. We were just so tired from spending so much time building the decks.
But I mean, if you go from a constructive point of view, maybe there's something there that where you do a best of 1, but obviously, and then you can think about your matchup. So you come with three decks. Maybe it has to be like a pauper style, like commons only or something, or you can switch cards backwards and forwards if you need to with legendaries. But you come with 3 decks, you ban a leader, and you.
I have actually discussed that type of format with some friends I've played with online, and I said it would be cool because then you maybe lose some of the rock, paper, scissors aspect of having aggro, mid-range control, and so forth. But they really criticized the idea because they said it's already expensive to have 1 top tier deck.
Yeah.
Imagine if you would need to have 3 top tier decks just to attend the competitive tournament, right?
It is true. It is true, and it's a I guess it's a rich man's game in that sense. Rich man's format. You
Yeah,
could
yeah,
say if you can have decks which are that as well. It worked in Keyforge because the deck was
yeah.
like 10 euros,
I think they ran something similar in Hearthstone as well.
and Hearthstone as well because
Yeah.
Hearthstone is all digital. So
Yeah.
But yeah, something to think about for the future when collections get bigger and if people have the ability to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, cool. I like that a new way to play.
Yes.
Cool. So what are you planning to build? What like if we think as Shadows of the Galaxy leaders only.
Okay.
What decks are you playing around with, wanting to build?
Um, I've had my eye on Gar Saxon and the new Han Solo for a while. I think the idea of space decks are super fun, and giving your spaceships upgrades seems even more fun. So going for like a Gar Saxon yellow with a lot of space is one thing I tried very early on. And then now I've been thinking a little with Han, trying to build it more like a Sabine deck, or like super aggressive,
Okay.
because I
So
kind of need to dodge your
so
question a
like a
little bit there.
double red.
No, with the Energy Commercial Lab.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are, I guess, and Lando I've looked at. Lando is probably the most interesting because that's one I didn't really expect being any good, but you know what's good, and that's the Cunning card, right? So if you play Lando in yellow, you get to play that card, and then you just put in aggressive, decent cards, and you got the decent aggro deck. So that's something I've been
That's an
playing
interesting
like
idea. Yeah.
1 or 2 games of, not that much, but I've sadly mostly been playing set 1 leaders, but with new cards, of course.
Yeah. So you said it was a double yellow Lando. You're saying
Yeah, that's one thing that's
that's
kind
something
of
that you're
gotten my
looking at.
attention, at least.
Which I do, and I was looking at Lando because the hyperspace. Obviously, I'm a big fan of hyperspaces, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that one is nice.
It is
And
so
I was
yellow.
looking like play, and I hadn't really looked at the Lando ability in itself, and he comes out of 4. He comes out of 4. Whoa,
Sheesh.
beautiful man.
Yeah.
Action player card using smuggle, and it costs 2 less. I mean, and think like that's like you can smuggle out Millennium Falcon like for 4.
Yes, that's kind of the cinematic moment they're going for, right? From the Han Solo
Yeah,
movie.
which is crazy because it's a 6 cost anyway.
Yeah.
So you want to smuggle out
They're
a
doing the
Millennium Falcon.
Kessel run in 12 parsecs, dude.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I was looking at that on thinking actually that could be something really fun, but I didn't think about a yellow one, like a double yellow.
Yeah.
Lando. So that could be fun.
Yes, I would say like the highlight of that deck so far is I think the jetpack is super good. Both the jetpack and the hotshot DL44 blasters, which both are upgrades that you can smuggle. Just like getting the aggression out, where you can actually attack with it as soon as possible. You can also play DJ. He has a smuggle cost in double Cunning, which is 7, but with Lando you can play it for 5, and you can take control of an enemy resource.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool if they can't answer DJ immediately.
That's cool. Yeah, and there are smuggle cards that only are like a 1 extra smuggle.
Yeah,
from the from the actual cost.
Yes.
And
with those, it's really great.
The hot shot is something I actually misread on Saturday because I was like, oh, it has smuggle. I'm going to put it down as smuggle, and then I picked up realizing, hang on a second, it cost me 5 to get this out. If I'm in red, if you're in red, it just doesn't work if you try and smuggle your hot shot blaster and you don't have Cunning.
I feel like
Learned that
the
one the hard way.
retrospect is a bait. Like you really want to smuggle that card because then you get to attack, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So probably not gonna see it in that many red decks.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore, because I was trying to stick it in both my Kira and my Ray. So, yeah.
So I guess that was a spoiler to what you built.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm going to cheat on my own question here for a second. I've revamped Chewy.
Let's go.
Yeah, revamped Chewy, and as soon as I put it up, I put this up as like literally just before we went. So it was a Tuesday evening. I put it up in the deck building channel on our Discord, and the like within 20 minutes, someone says, "Oh, you're missing Luke's." But I'm purposely I haven't put Luke in because I want to go Wookiees, and I want the new Chewbacca rare card is like it's an 8 cost, yes, but it comes in with a takedown.
Yeah,
is when played is takedown, and then it's 10 health with grits, and it's just a beast. Like, not only have you got the Chewbacca unit, but you've got a lot of more support there. Like Wookiee Warrior is another reason why I went for the big Chewbacca over Luke. Tarthul.
Damn, I didn't realize that liberated slaves actually have a Wookiee among those slaves.
Yeah, that liberated slaves is a really nice card, and especially with a 5 is a 3 cost and with a 5 arse, so 5 health. So you can bring that out with Sentinel, and that can be a really maybe even stick around. Or maybe force your opponent to play takedown on it because it's a 5 health thing, and then you can bring out something else for you make your opponent waste their takedown. Nice. So that's a lot of fun. It needs to be tweaked a little bit, of course. And I've got some bamboos. I think bamboos was going to be a very strong card for in this set because it's the exhaust and then put all the other grades back to your hand.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I want to play with that, but I haven't main decked that one. Anyway, that's my Chewy. He's got a lot more support, so I'm happy. I'm also going to go for a Kira, and I'm actually experimenting with a red Kira, but I'm struggling with the top end of the curve on the ground unit side because obviously first light is great, and I'll just start off just putting anything with grit is in because Kira is just like, that 2 damage and a shield. And so everything with grit hits for 2 extra straight off the bat. So that could be something that really works. So yeah. And then I realized today when I'm going through my cards that Academy Defense Walker is such a good card for Kira. Because Academy Defense Walker, if you think about if with Kira you want to damage all your own stuff so that you can shield it, Academy Defense Walker, Sentinel, and then when played, give an experience token to each friendly damaged unit. So if you've damaged everything, or even think about you haven't got many shields left, but you bring her out, bring Kira out turn 5. That's right, yeah. And then Academy Defense Walker out for 6 resources. You have possibly made everything you have stronger. And then you can just hit them. So I think that's a really cool first set card, which can help there. So
it works really well together with grit.
Yeah, it really does.
I think one thing you really have to figure out while building Kira is if you even need the top end of the curve, right? If it's gonna be aggro deck or more of a mid-range thing.
Yeah, I've got Prey Vizsla ahead of at the moment, and it doesn't really fit. That's where I'm going for like a 7 drop. On that one, but and of course I've got a Wookiee in there as well. But I'm thinking
Nice.
about dropping
Represent.
Prey Vizsla, maybe getting a couple of upgrades in there,
Yeah.
some resilience or something like that, just to keep Kira out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a lot of fun when playing that deck.
Nice.
So yeah, that's that. Ray obviously is going to be a good deck as well. I did pull 3. I pulled 2 Ray on Sunday.
Legendaries.
Legendary Ray legendaries.
Nice.
One of them was a hyperspace, and it looks so
Ooh.
good.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm thinking that could possibly fit nice into the Wookiee
Yeah.
deck, maybe.
Yeah, really well. And I also pulled 2 Podamerons as well. So I've got 1 Podameron away from making that a thing. Ray could fit into the Wookiee deck as well.
Yeah.
Because not all Wookiees are heroic.
Yeah, and healing Sentinel units is really nice, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although I was actually quite pleased this week to see. I watched Acolyte from the last week, and this is not huge, so much a spoiler alert, but you do see a Wookiee with a lightsaber having a lightsaber fight.
Yeah,
and I was so happy.
that was amazing.
It was insane.
So good.
Any criticism that I've had for the Acolyte has just gone away now because they've given me a Wookiee with a lightsaber using the Force. Like, I can see why George Lucas didn't want to give Wookiees lightsabers to begin with, because they're just absolutely insane. Yeah, but you've got to. I mean, I'm going to show this up to the camera to you. This is the Ray.
Oh damn!
Hyperspace.
I didn't realize it's completely red.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a blue
so
card.
nice.
It's just completely red.
Yeah,
absolutely
because it's from
insane.
the scene.
Yeah, and I've got 1 Kylo Ren
cards
as well that I want to sneak into there.
Nice.
As well, and a Crate Dragon. So
wow, nice.
That's my Ray.
On the topic of Poe, like, he's one of the most expensive legendaries for a reason, right? I think he's really going to be a nice upgrade to the Green Sabine deck, because you played Energy Conversion Lab with Steadfast Battalion before for 5, and that would hit for 7, but Poe can hit for 8 if you discard a card. So right now I've been testing a Sabine green list that's basically the same as in set 1, but you add Wrecker, Poe, and the Y-Wings I've added, because they essentially hit for 3, right? On attack, they say an opponent chooses a unit or base they control, and they have to deal 2 damage to it. And then the final legendary, the Darksaber, of course. I feel like people have talked about that being really good for Sabine. I wasn't super convinced, but now I think in most situations,
she's a Mandalorian. She's a Mandalorian. How would she not want to use the Darksaber?
Exactly. Yeah,
it's actually it's lore
accurate.
If you watch Rebels, the Darksaber was hers anyway at one point. So you've got to keep to the lore.
Yeah. And because first I thought, okay, putting that on Sabine, she's a target already. She's just going to be like even better for removal to get that out of there. But you have to think, this is turn 3. So your opponent's probably not going to have... I mean, they could take down Sabine when you deploy it, but then you haven't wasted the resources on the Darksaber. So let's say you get to play the Darksaber. Sabine's then a 6/8 on turn 3. Your opponent's not going to have anything that can deal with that. Okay, a Sentinel could deal with it somehow, but...
Rival's Fall.
Yeah, but that's on 6 resources, right? So you're gonna get in.
Of course.
You're gonna get in 2 attacks, possibly 3 attacks for 7 damage. So yeah, I really need to get those Darksabers from Matthias.
You're gonna have to kind of peel them from his cold dead hands if you're going to get your hands on those, because he was very happy with those. Nice. He's not letting those go. Yeah. So just wait for them to come down in price in a couple of years, and then you'll be fine. So that's the decks I'm kind of gonna like mainly aim on. Maybe a Cad Bane, maybe focus on my Thrawn a little bit, see what Thrawn can do as well. But I'm just enjoying. I've got so many piles of cards here. It's just gonna be fun.
I also think Thrawn can get some nice support this set, because he was kind of in the hard control family of
Yeah,
decks, right?
yeah,
And there weren't that many reasons for playing yellow. You had the bounty hunter crew that could like return an event from discard pile. Those were
yeah,
really great, getting that vigilance back. And maybe like waylay was useful. But now you got the frozen carbonite. That looks really nice for control.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you
Yeah,
got the new legendary. What's it called? Evacuate. Yeah, I
evacuate.
think
Yeah,
so. Yeah, that's also looks nice for control, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's not so obvious that he'd get support, but like he's an imperial official, so there's not going to be a huge amount of units, I guess, but there's a lot of really good um, events
Yeah,
to bring in upgrades as well that can kind of really give him that edge that he needed
yeah.
to have.
I just wonder if we're gonna see hard control decks with the like mill as a win condition in the second set because we've gotten crate dragons now, which they have to deal with somehow.
Oh, I know, and even like Rivals for All is
Yeah,
you're paying 6 damage to your base.
that might be enough, right?
Uh,
To close out the game.
you'd hope it's enough. Um, but again, like first light could also be another thing, really big thing if you already got it on the board. Getting first light out early. Um, first
In
light
what deck?
has in villainy blue.
Okay.
There's villainy blue decks. So again, Thrawn, if you're going blue Thrawn,
Yeah.
but giving each other friendly non-leader unit grit. So everything gets grit, and so you can deal with the Crate Dragon. Hopefully, you've got the stuff on the board to be able
Yeah.
to deal with it before you have to actually take any damage. Just a few thoughts of how to deal with Crate Dragon because it's gonna give a lot of people nightmares.
Yeah. I think right now, I think the best answer I've seen to it is Force Lightning, where you can pay extra to get more damage. So let's say you pay 6 resources, you can deal 10 damage if you have a Force unit,
Yeah.
but you technically only paid 1 for the event, so they can just deal 1 damage back. Because Force Lightning says,
Yeah, because you're paying for the effect, not the card.
yeah, I think that's how it works.
There we go. There's another one then. So yeah, and that's a villainy aggression. So Kylo has an answer.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren has an answer. Just thinking like who has an answer and who doesn't have an answer to Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
For example. So that could be
think-
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the easiest answer to Crate Dragon is always going to be aggro. Just kill them before 9 resources.
Yeah, it doesn't always work like that though.
Sadly not.
No, exactly. So yeah, cool. Well, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of how we've done. We're going to be spending a lot more time talking about different decks, without a doubt, in the coming weeks. However, we are not done in our journey through the aspects, and we had one left over. We should have probably done it 2 weeks ago, but it just made sense to get the guys on from Malmo game week.
Yeah.
As well. By the way, if you haven't signed up for that competition to win a ticket to Malmo Game Week, get involved. We got 1 week left from the date of this being publishing, midnight on Thursday, the 25th, 26th.
25th.
The 25th. Thursday, 25th at midnight. Is when we close, and yeah, we will contact you on the media thing. So remember, if you want to win that Mama Game Week ticket, you have to follow our Twitter account, and like the episode from last week, where we mention the game week with the episode link. Subscribe to us on YouTube and comment on our episode video,
episode 19.
episode 19, or come and join our Discord and react with us in the Discord channel.
The giveaway channel
is giveaway. It's
Yeah.
on the Takedown Cantina at the bottom there.
Yep.
So the giveaway there. Come and react to us there. Just say hi. Do anything there, and you're there,
Yes.
and you're in. So that's cool. I'm really psyched for that. I've got my boarding sorted for the game week, and I've just got to sort out which deck, which is causing more stress than it should.
You still have some time.
We still have a bit of time. Whether to go to Cunning or not. And that's a segue into talking about Cunning.
Yes.
So we are going to be talking about Cunning in retrospect of Spark Rebellion.
Yep.
And with probably a little bit of a deeper look now into what could be in Shadows of the Galaxy, because we already have Shadows of the Galaxy.
Yes.
So how are we going to do this, Jonah?
I think we can just start off looking at what Cunning is, what it represents, how we feel like, what types of card we see in Cunning, and then we can take a look at villainy and heroism and kind of compare those two sides, what they do. So
Yep, cool.
First
So
of all,
what is Cunning? What do you see Cunning as?
I feel like Cunning can be described by the trick trait.
Yep.
There are, like, I think it's Jabba, the unit that says search 8 cards for a trick, and I feel like Cunning has a lot of tricks. Not necessarily events that actually are tricks, but bounce effects, exhaust effects, not upgrades, but like buffs, like surprise strike.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Cunning. Playing a little bit around exhausting, kind of benefiting on that with, for instance, the Boba Fett legendary. And I'm gonna do a short tangent here. I don't know if you've seen, but there's been some event promos leaked where there were 2 cards from the next set, actually, Twilight of the Republic. Okay. There we saw a Sage Ventress with a keyword that said exploit 2. Nobody knows what exploit is, but Stian, the friend I played the box thing with, he said to me, okay, exploit is probably something about exploiting that a unit is exhausted, right? So maybe that's going to be something where you get a bonus if you attack exhausted units.
Nice. I saw that they were. I saw that what's the name was spoiled, but I did not read the card.
Yeah, okay. It was super fun getting to see Asajj and Darth Maul from the next set. Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, and the Darth Maul from the next set, is that because we have Maul, don't we? Not Darth Maul, if that's correct.
Yes. Yeah.
So is that Darth Maul? Is it a leader unit or?
No, it's just a unit.
Okay, so
I guess that's kind of Maul. When he's an apprentice, and the one we have now is more when he's like a crime leader.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the Maul, the Crimson Dawn crime leader. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice, excellent, cool. Well, for me, Cunning is disruption. True. Cunning is, and I didn't look in the way of the said that, you know, the like for like shoot verse, surprise strike. What was the really annoying one? That's the Sabine card that she did a sneak attack. That kind of stuff. It's actually it comes out with things that you don't have time to respond to. You're there, you're looking at the board, and then it just happens. You don't have time to respond to it, and it's just like, okay, right, I've got to. Suddenly it's gone. Suddenly that thing is gone because he used his prize strike. My store showdown. Suddenly I've lost because. But for me, before that, for me, like especially with exhaust, it's Cunning is the disruption of this game. So you're wanting to do as much as you can with just stopping the opponent playing their game.
Yeah.
And more than, and in a different way that control does, like with vigilance and
Yeah.
control. Because vigilance and control is just, you're controlling the game, you're controlling the board.
Cunning is probably more about tempo, right? Kind of
Yeah.
stopping your opponent from doing what they want to do and pushing kind of those tempo
Yeah,
advantages.
slowing them down.
Yeah.
They've got a big unit. Oh no, but you can just exhaust it, like with Grogu. Grogu's amazing, by the way. And I really love Grogu, especially coming out turn 1, and they just can't do anything. Grogu's such an important card for Cunning, but we're not there yet. So that I think that's what it is to me. Anyway.
Villainy then. We have 4 leaders from Sev 1, Boba and Thrawn. And then now we got Cad Bane and Aphra.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can kind of put them into
Is Aphra villainy?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's
Dr.
interesting.
Aphra.
I didn't realize. I do not. I haven't read the comic or whatever she's from, so I have no idea who Dr. Aphra is.
Yeah, neither do
I.
But I think Boba and Cad Bane are kind of similar in that they get some extra value, either resources or damage, and kind of want to be a little bit aggressive. And then Thrawn and Aphra, I see them more as control-y cards.
Yeah, definitely.
Thrawn lets you see what people draw. That's a really unique effect. And then doing the exhaust thing. And with Aphra, she kind of gets self-mill, which is a very new thing to the game. That we sadly don't have that much support for in the first set, or in the set, but I think in the future that might be something that's really good, where you can get things back from a discard pile or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, but that's also a very strong thing when you need to find the card you need to have at the time. But yeah, it's difficult to plan around that. I don't know. I don't know enough about. I don't know. I don't know if I know enough about Cunning or like how you would get the best out of that.
Yeah. I think you're onto the right thing with Dr. Aphra is that the good thing about that discarding is when you have to dig for specific cards. So in the future, if we're going to get like a sick combo deck where you need a 3-card combo or something like that, then Aphra is probably really good for that deck because you have more ways of seeing more cards. And I've actually seen, I don't know if I've mentioned it in the podcast before now, but I've seen someone try to pull that off where they play Dr. Aphra as a super control deck, like hard control. So they just stall. And then they rely on completely milling out, playing restock to put Endless Legions and You're My Only Hope back in the deck. So they play You're My Only Hope out of aspect to reveal the top of their deck, being Endless Legions. And if you have 5 or less HP, you get to play the top card for free. So you can play Endless Legions for free. But then what resources are you going to play as units if you play it as a hard control deck? So it's a fun thing in theory, but I don't think we're going to see any combo decks with Aphra yet, but in the future, possibly.
Yeah, because you've also got to really, like, especially when she's deployed, you've really got to you've really got to have a very flat curve as well. Like 5 or more different costs amongst your cards in your discard pile, and she comes out at turn 5.
Yeah, you can't really rely on that.
You really can't. So you not necessarily. She's not necessarily going to come out turn 5.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that turns on when you do have those cards in your thing. But that is an interesting one, and I think you have to be very skilled in order to pull that one off.
Okay, so except from the leaders, what kind of represents villainy, or what good cards do we have in the villainy side of Cunning? I feel like something that's really worth mentioning is
from the first set. I think if you focus on the first set.
From the first set, then I would say probably Fett's Fire Spray and Bosk. Those are amazing. in Boba Fett, of course. Having a big spaceship that enters ready is super valuable. And now with triple dark raid, we see even more support for space decks in Cunning Villainy.
Yeah, yep, definitely. The
Oh, you're talking about No Good to Be Dead.
No Good to Be Dead. There's No Good
Yeah.
to Be Dead at that one. And then obviously now the same thing moving in is like, you're not just exhausting, you're stopping them from even playing it even longer. And now you have the Frozen in Carbonite,
Yeah.
which just means they can't
Yeah,
use
that's amazing.
that thing as well, which is it's like a better entrenched.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of it's better at what hard control decks have been using entrenched for, but you don't get the benefit of being able to entrench your C3PO and then just taking over the ground. But I really like the new cards in Cunning Villainy. The Lurking TIE Phantom is just so interesting, and that's kind of why I've been looking into like space decks with the TIE Phantom like single-handedly being a win condition.
That's the one that can't be damaged from
Yes,
effects, isn't it? Which
can't be
I do like
captured,
that card.
damaged, or defeated.
From card unit
Abilities.
effects, unit abilities, yeah.
Or it says card abilities, so
Enemy card abilities, exactly, yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's a unit or event from hand.
And it's also an Imperial as well. So
Yeah,
talking more Thrawn support.
yeah, and Tarkin. A lot of people have
Thrawn
been playing
Tarkin,
it in
yeah.
Tarkin, yeah, just to buff it up. And
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. That is really good. One that I like is the Slaver's Freighter, which when played you may ready another unit with power equal to or less than the number of upgrades on enemy units. So, which is I think it's a really good sideboard card against those decks that
Ray
really
decks, I
go.
guess.
Say again.
Ray, maybe. She
Yeah,
heals
up
upgrades,
against
right?
Ray, up against Chirrut, up against
Yeah,
Finn.
yeah,
Anything that you wanna buff, that you need to be able to buff things. That's a real thing.
yeah.
Kira, if she's shielding everything.
True.
Yeah, a lot of things there.
What do you think about Dr. Evasan? He's when he got spoiled, everyone's like, "Oh my god, this card is the best 2-cost unit, 3/3 with shield. What the heck?" But I'm not convinced.
I haven't played a deck with him in yet. I think if you can pull it off, you can. But by the time you are gonna say for example, like you can play around it. It's not the hardest card to play around, and you're never going to actually ready up to 12 resources. That's
Yeah.
obviously the meme side of it.
So you're
But you
saying like if you
could get
build your deck so you have a little bit of sorry.
You could get a little bit of maybe 2 or 3 out of it one turn if you manage to kill it. At the end of your turn, maybe your opponent has taken initiative and you can do something to kill it and do a little bit more. But we're talking like early to mid game if we're going to pull this off. Late game, you're not going to want to play it. There's no point in playing Dr. Evansan late game where there's actually your opponent has the ability to actually want to do that. So it's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's I don't think it's as a danger to play. So I think it's a really good first turn drop.
Yeah.
If you're playing with it, because it's shielded, you're not going to lose it straight away.
Yeah. Okay. Can I do last mention before we go over to heroism?
Yeah, definitely.
I think Bazine Natal is maybe the best rare in the set. She's a 2-cost 1/3. When played, look at an opponent's hand. You may discard one of those cards. If you do, that player draws a card. And it has Smuggle. So right now, I think the most expensive cards are Maul and Wrecker. Them, of course, being popular characters as well. But I think Bazine is very undervalued or like underappreciated right now, because I think she's a staple in every Cunning villainy deck. Being able to just take out your opponent's best card is so valuable, and especially if you're playing against control and they kind of rely on having the right removal to deal with your aggression. So I think Bazine is a card to really pay attention to, and every time you're playing against Cunning Villainy, you have to consider losing your best card at any moment.
Yeah. If I can also put my hat in for two cards that are going to be amazing, I think, especially with Cad Bane, and anything Underworld, Villainy Underworld, is Forlom and Zuckus.
Yeah.
Which is the Forlom is the one that comes out on 4 resources, has ambush, and then he will give Zuckus ambush when Zuckus comes out with 5 resources. And so if you can get them both out at the same time, it's just absolutely misery for your opponent.
Yeah. I think in 5/5 and a 7/7.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Exactly. I mean, and this we haven't exactly had much time with the new set. There's going to be a lot of things coming out. Like Enfys Nest could be a really good card. It's it's just a plain. It's yellow.
Yeah.
Ambush,
I
and
really
then
love that art.
everything using ambush. Whenever anything that comes out with ambush, the defender gets -3, -0. So that is also a very good card, I think. So I like where Cunning is going. I like playing Cunning because I think Cunning can make you a better player, because you have to think more and plan around your turns a lot more. So I think that's a good thing with Cunning.
I agree. Sequencing really matters.
Yeah. And so if you can focus on Cunning, you might end up then being better at the other aspects, because you've already taken what you've learned from playing Cunning into other stuff. And I think the designers even said like Cunning is there for the players, I won't say just the better players, but the players who like the complexity of card games. And so spend some time with Cunning, and I think you will get better at the game.
Nice. Okay, trying to compare villainy to heroism. In heroism, we got Han Solo and Jin from the first set, and then now we've got 3 new leaders: Fennec, Lando, and Mando.
Lando and Mando.
Oh yeah, the boys. I think, sadly, Jin was probably the least played leader of set 1.
You don't say.
So not gonna spend any time on that, but Han was very popular.
Yeah, I think Jin was great for limited.
Yes,
because it worked with a lot of other cards. It was very wide, and so you could always get a half decent deck where her effect would be effective. You could say, whereas when you had the ability to construct your decks, the other leaders were just better. It wasn't that I don't think she was bad, but the edge that she gave just wasn't the edge that you needed to make it a really, really good deck, unless you focused in on that. I mean, even Hera could be a good deck if you really spend a lot of time with it.
But what about the new guys, Fennec, Lando, and Mando? Have you picked out a favorite, or?
I mean, Lando, Ando, Mando. I don't know yet because I haven't. I just haven't played them.
Yeah,
I wish I could have given more time to this. I think before the set came out, I really enjoyed the Mandalorian TV show. I I really was excited about maybe making a Mandalorian deck around this, but I don't know because I'm now finding a lot of the other players' decks a little bit more interesting.
yeah,
It is quite interesting that there are no. Um, I don't know if I read this or someone said this, but there for Mando being a cunning leader, there are no cunning Mandalorian cards,
yeah. That's a bit of a bummer.
which is interesting. I don't know if that was like I don't know why that is. If that's the case, yes, Grogu's yellow. Yes, there's a lot of
I mean, I would
stuff
say it
there.
kind of makes sense with the fact that Mandalorian is not really like the character is more of a loner, right? He's not that. I mean, he's got the creed, the gang, but
Yeah, yeah, I like
he's
it.
more
I
of
like
a
it.
lone wolf. So maybe Bo-Katan makes sense. She's more of a Mandalorian tribal leader that really Mandalorian matters, and then the Mandalorian Din Djarin focus more on upgrades and tricks and being a bounty hunter and kind of, if we think of like the design perspective, maybe.
No, I didn't think of that actually. That he's a loner. Like all the other Mandalorians are spread out over everything else, but he's the only guy
Yeah,
there. I mean, I think it's the same with Hera. Hera was the only green Spectre
yeah,
in
they're
that sense as well.
yeah,
So it's a deck building challenge, I guess.
yeah.
You have the jetpacks, you have Boba's armor, you do have some things that go with him, but yeah, maybe I like your law based reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lando we've already talked about a little bit,
yeah.
and I think I might end up exploring him as well. I might need to buy some more cards.
The
we well,
temptation.
we just need to buy more cardboard.
Yeah,
Fennec Shand, I think, could be very good.
yeah. Probably good with Memphis Nest, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Keep that ambush train going.
Yes.
But
Because you're giving it ambush and you're giving it -3, so that's a very good thing.
yeah,
It is one action, but I do think she could be very good on the just on is it control if she's just coming out and just controlling the board in that sense and just
I feel like heroism cunning doesn't really have that much support for control.
not necessarily, but ambush really only works against your like stay with me for a second here. Ambush only really works against your opponent's units.
Yeah,
So when you're bringing stuff out, and she's bringing stuff out with ambush straight away, that you are gaining that board control. Maybe it's not control as in the style of play,
yeah.
but
Okay,
you
okay.
are getting the control over the board. You are getting the advantage of the board, and maybe it's more cunning because then you're stopping the opponent doing what they
Yeah,
should be doing or
I
what they
think what
want
you
to be
get
doing.
from ambush is kind of control over the trades. So if your opponent has a 3/3 and you get to ambush a 4/4, that's really good. You know you're going to get a 2-for-1 because your unit is going to survive as a 4/1. So
Exactly, yeah. And if you can get everything down because especially when Fennec Shand is out, it's an action, so it's not like an action, and you can use it as many
yeah,
times as you want
yeah,
as your action, and just get everything out. If you've got small units, everything out with ambush, and
that's
you
nice.
you you can stick out and have a board, and
Yeah.
especially like you said with Memphis Nest.
Mm.
Um, that's a really nice little synergy there.
Yeah.
I might have to build a Fennec Shan now.
Yeah. I mean, it's I would say it's great that we have so many leaders, but also there's so many of them that you're not gonna have time to build decks for each of and one of them, especially when you want to consider multiple aspects as well. But I think that's also a really fun part of the game, just theory crafting and building decks when you're sitting on the train on your computer work.
Yeah, sat on the toilet, not knowing what to do. Oh no, you sat on the train. Sorry, I thought you. Yeah, completely misunderstood you there.
Okay, but let's mention some of the heroism cunning cards, because heroism cunning is actually an aspect combination that some people have been calling the worst. But even though it's gotten that reputation, I think there are some gems in there. From the first set, we got Leia, which is amazing, Falcon, and Han Solo. It's popular characters, great cards. What more do you want?
Yes, no, I completely agree. I'm just going to grab my folder out again so that I looking at my sorted cards.
Nice.
I mean, we've got I think the Chewbacca unit was also really strong because he came in with Sentinel, and if you bring him out early first turn, attack him, and you ready him, and he can hit for 3.
Yeah.
It would have been better with grit, but you can't have everything. I think the Lando unit was good with Saboteur, especially with a 6. 6 cost. With a 6 power with Saboteur was quite good. But
maybe for sealed, but
I thought Lando was pretty good there.
Yeah,
but I see what you mean. There wasn't a huge amount of heroic stuff. I think coming into set 2 though, there's some interesting stuff that was in Spark. For example, I think did I mention before, or was this off recording? Like Bamboozle.
Yeah,
Bamboozle. I think could be a very big card in.
Yeah, because of
with Shadows of the Galaxy
new upgrades.
You're exhausting the unit, so it's not like it's not going back to the hand. You can't do that, but you're putting all the upgrades back into its owner's hands. Yes, if you've got a bounty on something, you need to play around that. However, with these big buff units, then Bamboozle, I think, could be a very good sideboard card if you just need that extra edge.
Yeah. Okay. I'm noticing we're kind of spending a lot of time on single cards, but in the next set, maybe let's just pick out one favorite each.
Yes.
I probably think I could guess your favorite in heroism cunning.
Try me.
Grogu. I have to think real hard about that one. Hard to say no, right?
I don't know. It's hard to say no to Grogu.
Yeah.
Because it comes out early, he can just really disrupt from the get go.
Yeah.
I think
he's cute.
I mean, however many fingers he has, he's still cute.
Yeah.
I think there's some others though. I think if we're just talking about, I think Unrefusable Offer is a good. I know it's not heroism. I'm cheating a little bit there, but in terms of upgrades, Unrefusable Offer attached to a non-needle unit. It gives it bounty. Play this unit for free. It enters play ready at the start of the turn. Regroup phase, defeat it. Like that can really swing.
Yeah, could be a way of getting some extra damage in to close out the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think anything can beat Grogu. If in terms of units, what do you think about Spare the Target?
I think I would rather play Waylay because there's not that many bounties I care about. So it really depends on the meta. If you feel like you're going to play in the meta where there's going to be people playing Dr. Evazan or other bounties that actually matter, then I would play Spare the Target. or if you're playing for a cause I believe in the deck and you need that heroism aspect. Otherwise, I would play Waylay because it can bounce your own units, which spare
Yes,
target
yeah.
can't.
Which and there are some good on play effects.
Yeah.
With Cunning.
My favorite card of the new ones is Kira. I think she looks really nice. 4 cost 3/5. Look at an opponent's hand, name a card, and while Kira is in play, each card with that name costs 3 more for your opponents to play. So I'm definitely gonna put that in my hand deck and call it a day. Set 2, baby.
Very nice, very nice. I like that. Yeah, Kira. I'm just trying to find the card now to remind myself of that, because I know I pulled one of those, and I've got a second one coming in the post. I like the fact with Kira you get a villainy hero, and you get a heroic part.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like she didn't really turn evil though in at the end of the movie. She kind of betrayed Han, and she kind of pursued the career in Crimson Dawn, which I guess is kind of villainous. But
I mean, unfortunately, because I'm not sure if they're going to make the second. I don't think they'll ever make the second solo film, and that's a shame, because I think that could have really gone far.
yeah,
But I was very interested to see how that would go for her and for her.
yeah,
For her character,
that was just
in
so cool
there.
to see Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was a really, really fun touch at the end, that actually she was the one in charge. Which was a lot of fun. No, but the Kira unit is very fun. I agree.
Okay, should we try to wrap up?
We can do after. I
Cunning.
want to talk about one thing, because I think we talked about this before we started recording, and it's the Hot Shot Blaster. And yes, this is an aggression card, and
But is it?
I really messed this up when I played at the weekend, because I did not notice, and yes, I've noticed when I've looked at the card, but it didn't occur to me then. I already saw it. I was okay. It's got smuggle, 3 costs. I'm going to put it into my. I'm going to resource this card. I tried to play it out for 3. No, I had to spend 5 to get my attack off, because the smuggle cost is 3 plus Cunning. So unless you're playing aggression Cunning,
Yeah.
if you resource the Hotshot Blaster, the Hotshot DL44 Blaster, you will have to pay 5 if you're not running Cunning in order to get this one out.
Yeah.
Be very careful with that one. But I love the flavor.
Yeah.
You can't argue with the flavor, can you?
I think the smuggle side of it is also so much better, so I pretty much consider that a Cunning card.
Yes, you're right.
Excellent.
Yeah. Cool. So that's our little wrap up for Cunning. I think it's got a lot of potential, and I think it's going to be a lot better this set, I think.
So Hotshot DL44 is our wrap up for Cunning. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. An aggression card is our wrap up. Okay. Aggression rules. No.
Yeah. One honorable mention. I think Cunning is amazing with a double aspect. So if you like double aspect, consider Cunning.
Yeah, just lean into it.
Final Showdown.
Yeah, I mean, Final Showdown. We need to talk about Final. I'm sorry, we need to talk about Final Showdown. We are going to wrap this up in the next 40 minutes. I promise you. Final Showdown. I just love. Like I was looking at Chewbacca lists, and I was thinking I need to order 2 of these before people cotton on to how good this card could actually be. Because the Final Showdown, it can be the difference between winning and losing, and I know that's like the obvious. Because if you can't pull it off, you lose the game. But being able to do that, say and it's the perfect cunning card. Like,
Yeah.
your opponent thinks it's all taken care of. They can win next turn. They take the initiative, and they're just like, hang on a second, I can ready all my Wookiees, and hit you for like 20.
Yeah.
So
That would be amazing to pull
you
off.
need to get the board state. You need to have control of the board. You need to have the right situation. But I think it could be so much fun, and it very is much the could be the difference, and why Cunning could be really good.
And finally, we have an official way to concede. You can just play this and lose.
Yeah. I agree. I will take bribes not to lose the game, but I will take bribes to play Final Countdown as the final showdown instead, not Final Countdown.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening from the UK, I can take some bribes to play Final Countdown if you want to. We may bring that into the next episode, but
all right, this is getting unhinged at this point.
And do you expect any less? Yeah, I think we should wrap up before this becomes another hour and a half episode. However, this was Cunning. I think in the next few weeks we'll be moving on to kind of breaking down some other stuff in the new set. If there's anything you want us to cover now, though, going into topics that we should consider looking at when looking at the game in general, looking at particular decks, let us know the kind of content that you want us to see. We're like 20 episodes in now. We've been going for 20 weeks non-stop, which I think is kind of an important milestone. So, and we want to get better. We want to get kind of get our foot in there. So let us know some of the stuff that you want to see from us, and we can see what we can do about that. But until then, Jonah, thank you so much for leading the conversation on Cunning.
Thank
I think
you to you
without
for
that,
hosting you, as always.
You are very welcome. I think this episode could have been much longer if I was trying to do this myself. So thank you for keeping me in check, and thank you, listener, for listening in. We've got people kind of coming in now. I think someone popped in from Scotland. We've got people from Germany, around Europe, starting to listen as well. So really encouraging to see more people tuning in and listening. Your feedback is always means a lot to us. So if you have the opportunity, come and say hi. It's always good to have that conversation. You know where to find us: Twitter, YouTube, Discord.
Enter the giveaway.
And enter the giveaway. Come and meet us down in Malmo. All 4 of us are going to be there. And we may have some goodies. I will wrap up now. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Jonah. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. May the force be with you, and good night.